guys, it's your girl Annette Harris, the host of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. And today is Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. And I have a surprise for you. Yes, I will have a very special segment featuring two wonderful gospel music artists, Mr. Bryan Popin and also Mr. Titus Showers will be in the virtual house. Yes, they have stopped by on their way to the 2021 Inaugural Gospel Celebration. And they are coming to Get Caught in a Net. So I need you to grab a friend, grab a neighbor, share this live feed because you do not want to miss what we have in store for you. Get Caught in a Net.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your host, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need a net? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Hey guys, welcome to another wonderful session of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I am your host, Annette Harris. Thank you all so much for joining us, for watching and or listening on today. Listen, don't adjust your computer screens or whatever you're looking at it on. We are live. It is a Tuesday. Don't get thrown off. I know that you're normally looking for me on a Wednesday, but we did a little adjustment on today. Actually, on last week as well, we had a special segment, but it was on a different day other than a Wednesday. But I appreciate many of you that join in with me that are keeping up with Mind, Body, and Soul. You're keeping up so that you can get caught in a net. And today, Tuesday, the 19th, I just did a little bit adjustment for my guests that I am going to have come in. So as soon as they come in, we're going to talk to them. But I'm so excited today because, it's another day. And we are here to see it. If you're watching me on today, then you're here to see it as well. So we're grateful for that. I want to say a couple of things before we even go into everything. Of course, I acknowledge God and I thank God for this time and opportunity to come back before you all. I mentioned to you all on last week, there are some great things that are happening here at Mind, Body, and Soul, Get Caught in the Net. And I can't wait to share those things with you. I'm eager, but of course, everything has its timing. Some great things we've been working on for this new year. You see our tagline this year, the Get Caught in a Net experience. 2021. And so I'm really excited about that. It is an experience indeed. And you guys, as you come on in, I see you're popping up and you're sharing. I do appreciate many of you that are sharing this live feed. And of course, that is what I'm going to ask you to do. Please make sure you click the share button. You can click the love, throw me up some hearts up, some thumbs up. You can even throw up that care button if you would not mind letting us know that you are here and you are alive and well and you are joining in with us on today. So let's see here. I'm going to look on here on Facebook, my live page. I am on my page, Get Caught in a Net. I want to see who all is here. And I want to acknowledge you guys because, of course, we normally air from this page. And then what we do is have our wonderful producer, Earl Winfrey at Intellectual Radio. He actually posts the audio portion of the session on our YouTube channel for us while we are live. So if you want to go over there and listen, you can. We'll put the video portion of today's segment up at the end of the show, but you can go over there and listen if you like, or if you just want to stay over here and see our faces, my face and my guest face once they come in. And again, make sure you guys, I was doing a little sharing myself, make sure you guys share. So I want to recognize individuals that are on. Of course, I have my volume up and I shouldn't have. I see you, Brandy. Thank you so much for joining us on today. And Elise Crawford, there's my girl. There's Elise. How are you, sweetie? Good to see you. Audra, hey, oh, I love you too, girl. I love you. That's my girl. That's my girl. That's my BFF from high school, guys. If you ever hear me say anything about Audra or Pure, then you know who I'm talking about. That's my girl. Always will be. We have each other's hearts. I appreciate her. Sabrina, how are you? Apostle elect, thank you for watching. Missionary Carolyn, thank you for watching. There's my friend. Missionary Carolyn, I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to, while you have a chance thinking about it right now, text me your mailing address. No questions. Please just text that to me. Sister Carolyn, if you would do that for me. And then also, let's see here. Who else am I recognizing on today? There are more that are on here. I can't see your name. So if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor and going ahead and typing in hello so that I'll see that it's you and I'll recognize you. I'm scrolling down. I don't know why sometimes Facebook will only allow certain names or different names to pop up. Must be the algorithms. I'm sure that's what you guys are going to tell me. But then I can't see all the names. And I like to recognize those who are coming on and those who are supporting me. I always tell you, I don't take it for granted because I could be here every week by myself. And then with all the different changes and stuff that's been going on, I've been on different days. You know, I normally air Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so with that in mind, I appreciate the fact that you guys stick with me. I can throw up a post and say, okay, I'm going to do it on a different day. And there you are. You are there with me. And I do appreciate it. So again, if you wouldn't mind just saying hello so I can recognize who you are on today. You know, today's session came probably at the last minute on last evening. So I I didn't have a lot of time to actually let you guys know that I was going to be live on today. But nevertheless, we are here. My guest is about to come on in a few more moments, and we're going to introduce. Many of you have seen, I did put up a post about the inaugural gospel celebration. Did you guys see that? It's going to happen on tomorrow after the inauguration, of course. So it is my understanding that they normally have like a gospel concert at after the inaugural event, you know, every 4 years. That's my understanding, if I'm not mistaken. So of course, this year it's going to be different because it's going to be virtual. But nevertheless, they are not going to shortchange you on the artists that they have set up to come and minister to all of you on this year. So I'm excited about that. And, you know, everything is so different for all of us. And we can fully understand that. And we've had to adjust. Let me just say that. Let me say this. I want to thank all of you for adjusting. You know, from 2020, we're almost on a year dealing with this pandemic itself. And of course, there's been a lot of political unrest. But many of us have taken these punches, if you will. And of course, we've placed our trust in God in helping us to get through it. So I want to encourage each of you. You're still here and you're still watching and you're still, you know, going through life. The Lord has blessed you. So I encourage you to continue on. I see many of you. Thank you for saying your hello or anything so I can recognize your names. I see you, Gail Reed Thomas. How are you, my sweet? Thanks for watching. Beverly Ann is on. Thank you. Beatrice is here. Yay, she made it. Karen is here. Thank you for watching. You guys make sure when you come in, click that share button. Click the share button. We're just getting everything set up. My guest is about to come on in a few more moments. And we're going to talk to them on today. But as I was talking, I was just mentioning about the inaugural celebration, the gospel celebration, and how many of us know that we could use a little song, we can use a little pick me up, if you will, after all that we have been through. I'm looking forward to this gospel concert on tomorrow evening. And I want to say that if you haven't, I believe you can get tickets. I believe you can still get tickets to watch the gospel concert. And I'm going to see if I can put in the actual website so that you can go to. But if you want to, you can go back to my actual page and you will see the link to do the actual to click on. Well, it's a flyer, and in the flyer it has the website where you can go and get tickets, because at the bottom of that flyer it says, you can go to this website to get tickets. So if you guys want to do that, if you haven't done it already, some of you may have done it already, and that's wonderful if you have. But again, this is going to be on tomorrow night. I believe it starts at 7 Central. I don't want to misquote, but I believe it's at 7 Central tomorrow evening. So let's see here. A shout out to the publicists and those that work with these gospel artists and getting them to various radio stations and TV stations to be interviewed. A shout out to Apostle Vero Howard, and she is my connection to these gospel artists. And then also she was my connection to the guest that I had on last week. I don't know if any of you got a chance to listen on last week. I interviewed two a brother-sister combo, African-American producer director team, and they are just on fire. And last Thursday, they were coming out, was the debut of their second season of their series entitled Double Cross. And some of you got a chance to listen to that show on last week. And many of you got a chance to watch their series, I'm sure, on last week. So shout out to Apostle Vera Howard for that connection and this week's connection, and also her assistant, Tara Smith Hughes. And she is my connection to. I've been working with Tara, and she's telling me that my guests are going to be on any moment. But what I want to do is to ask each of you if you have any questions for my guests. Oh, thank you, Brandy. Thank you. It starts at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, and 5 Pacific. Thank you for throwing those times up there. And the website, I keep saying I'm going to get it. I think it's IGC 2021, IGC.org. I don't know, Brandy, if you see that on any of the flyers or not. But yeah, Beverly says, oh, I wish I could be there. Yeah. If you still could go on and I'm sure get a ticket now, you really could, if that's what you're referring to, Beverly. But let's see here. I was going to ask each of you that if you have any questions for my guests on today, you can make sure to throw them in the chat box. Any comments that you have coming forth, you can make sure to do that as well. And of course, we'll be going back and forth, talking with them, asking them questions myself, and then corresponding with you guys here on Facebook Live. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right, you guys, bear with us. I've gotten a message that he was on another interview, and so they're ending that one up. So we can just chat. We can just chat right here. All right, Brandy says tickets to the inaugural celebration. Thank you. She is so sweet. Okay, I knew it was specific. The 2021 IGC.org. Okay, the 2021 IGC for Inaugural Gospel Celebration.org. So yeah, that'll be good. Beverly, it's going to be a virtual celebration on tomorrow. So you should be able to attend virtually if you are able that way. So, you don't have to actually physically go to the Maryland, DC area, and all of the gospel artists that they have scheduled, they will be doing it virtually, because of the time that we're in, of course. And so we're just being cognizant of that. And let's see here. There are some other artists on here that I wanted to recognize that will be celebrating, should I say, at the gospel celebration on tomorrow. And I'm just going to read those names. We are actually just still awaiting our guests. We have, of course, Mr. Fred Hammond will be in the house, the virtual house at the gospel celebration on tomorrow. I'm just reading some of the names. And then we have Tasha Cobb. I love Tasha Cobb. Marvin Sapp, Leandria Johnson, Dietrich Haddon, Ty Trebet, Jonathan McReynolds, Bryan Popin, which is going to be one of my guests on today. And then also, let's see, there are other names here. I'm going to go back. Corin Hawthorne. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Corin Hawthorne. She is going to be one of the guests as well at the gospel celebration. Todd Delaney. I love Todd's music. I don't know about you guys. Let's see, JJ Harrison. The Highway QCs featuring Spencer Taylor. And my understanding is that this is a quartet that has won awards. And they are going to, I believe this is going to be the only quartet at the gospel celebration on tomorrow evening. Titus Showers, which is the guest that I'm waiting on right now. He will be performing. And then I hope this is how you pronounce this name, Jokia, Jokia. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of her. Many of you probably have heard of some of these artists. Some of them I am just learning of. Now, Corin, I've heard of. Now, the quartet, I've never heard of them, but I understand that they are really, really good. So again, go to that website if you're looking to purchase a ticket and listen to the good gospel music that is going to come forth on tomorrow evening. I would think after, as I stated earlier, after all we've been through, we could use some good gospel music. What do you all think about that? I think we could. And am I seeing Dr. Lord Michael Hunt? How are you, sir? Thank you for watching on today. I'm just kind of talking a little bit until my guest comes in. My guest, I have two guests that I'm going to chat with on today in the persons of Titus Showers and Bryan Popin. They have been on interviews, and one is wrapping up an interview as we speak, and he will be right on with us. But again, any questions you guys may have for my guests on today? Have you heard of these two guests before? Bryan Popin, have you heard of his music? And Mr. Titus Showers, why don't you answer that for me? Have any of you heard of these two gospel artists? And if so, what are some of the songs that you know them by? I have some favorites of both of these gentlemen, and some favorite songs, should I say. And I was very impressed, and I could understand how they were selected to be amongst the gospel artists to perform at the Inaugural Gospel Celebration on tomorrow. So I could see how they were invited along with these other artists. It's a blessing to be able to be invited as an artist and to, showcase your talent, if you will. So I'm excited for them as they are preparing for that. I see you, Mr. Byron Hill. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And we are hopefully going to get started with our guests very shortly. Let's see here. I'm scrolling up, making sure I don't miss anyone. Did you guys tag your friends? Did you tag individuals to make sure that they will be here to listen to everything we have to talk about on today? Did you make sure you do your tagging? I see Brandy has tagged some individuals, and I thank you for that. Let's see here. I am going to do some tagging myself. Dr. Hunt, I don't know if you're still on or not, but I did miss my Zoom meeting on this morning. I hate I didn't get a chance to tune in. I'm sure it was a beautiful meeting. I hope it's okay for me to say that. Yes, but I always enjoy listening to Dr. Hunt. I really do. Kendrick, how are you? Good to see you, my friend, my family. I appreciate you. We are awaiting our guest, Kendrick. And so we're just doing a little chit chatting. If you guys are just now joining us, we're just chatting right now before my guests come in on today. In the meanwhile, I will let you know there are on next week, we're going to have our health and wellness segment with Dr. Shirley Hill. And then the following week, we are going to go back into, for Black History Month, we're going to highlight a few individuals. And the first one is going to be an actor, a dancer, turned film and stage play critic. And that will be Andrew Malone. So he will be on February 3rd. So I'm excited to hear from him. And then we're also going to feature during the month of February, Miss Sabrina Gallion. She's a former guest from my show. She's written a book. And so we're going to highlight her latest project. And I have Mr. Titus Showers coming in on this afternoon. And he's getting connected to his audio. So we are excited that he is here with us. Mr. Showers.
Hello, 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 hello.
How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me today.
Oh,
I'm
thank
honored
you.
indeed.
Oh, thank you so much for coming in. I understand you got kind of caught up on your other your other meeting that you had, your other interview.
Absolutely. I said I
Okay.
gotta go. I gotta go. They wouldn't let me go, but I made it. I made it out all right.
Okay. All right, little play on words there, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you have joined us. And I understand, everything that's going on, especially even with tomorrow. You got a lot of interviews scheduled and lined up. So we get it. We get it. But we welcome you here to Mind, Body, and Soul with ANet. I'm the host, ANet Harris. And here we try to give good information so individuals can come on and get caught in the net. So we're talking with you on today and chatting. So excited for you and your opportunity on tomorrow evening. Now, I have a few questions that I'm going to ask you, but we're also going to relate with our Facebook live feed and those who may have questions and comments for you on today. So
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Now,
Me
listen.
too.
Let me do. So you're feeling pretty good today?
I'm feeling great. Feeling great.
Good. Now I'm going to tell you before I even get into my questions. I was listening to some of your music, sir, and I'm loving it. I am loving it.
Bless you. I'm honored to know. Thanks so much for the support. God is great indeed.
Yes, indeed, and he's definitely blessing you, and I'm loving the little feel I'm getting with it as well. But let's see here. Why don't you talk to us about your background, maybe how you grew up, and then kind of get into the music arena, if you will.
Absolutely. I grew up as a PK son. My dad's a pastor, and he and my mother had 10 children, 6 girls and 4 boys, including me. My dad used to preach around the state of Louisiana and different surrounding areas in other states, and he asked the Lord to bless him with a singer. It started with my sister Regina Showers Gordon, and as he and my mother continued to have children, we all just fell in line and started singing. God continued to bless us with the gift of song. And we continue to enhance our gift. We continue to sing at different places before my dad would minister. So, other people in the ear say, man, y'all need to form a group. And we will always sing at the house and be ready and prepared for this grand opportunity. And so we formed the group. We came out with a project in like 2008 or so. And then we came out with 2 national projects after that, 2-time Stellar nominated, known group as The Showers. And then in 2019, the Lord allowed me to go solo, and that's the journey that I'm on now. And my album was entitled Who? That's right, because I wanted the people to know who Jesus is, and secondarily, you'll find out who Titus Showers is.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I like the little spin you just put on there because see, somebody may say I entitled it who because I want you to know who I am. But you turn that around.
hey, mainly I wanted to make sure I say that first. It's all about him because you remember when he was dealing with the disciples after he just finished feeding 5,000 and with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. And Jesus was making a reputation for himself, and he asked John the Baptist, well, what they saying about me? He said, some said you're John the Baptist, some saying you're this, but he said he told and asked Simon Peter, who do you say that I am? And he said, thou art the Christ. So I want them to know that he is the man, and secondarily, you'll find out who I am.
Love it. I love it. I love it. And obviously, like you said, you had that background with being a PK kid, basically. So
Right.
you had that, and you said your dad wanted a singer. Well, he sure got it, didn't he?
He sure did. The Lord honored his requests and answered his prayers, and we continue to just, as mom and dad continue to have us, we continue to just join the group, you know.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So you got a little background with the family. All right. I see this. I see this. So, but let me ask you this though. Even though you grew up a PK kid, was gospel music always your passion though?
Wow. It was hard for us to even like have another avenue or something else that we wanted to do. And I respect to anyone else who grew up in the church and went their way. Of course, it's very enticing because you sing at a lot of weddings. You sing to your girl over the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
So it's very enticing, man. But it was just rooted and grounded in me, and I never wanted to leave. I believe that I myself, nobody else, I would have shamed my father and all of the work and everything that he was teaching his people to do, and I didn't want to mess up the name or hurt my dad. That was my main reason for staying stationary.
Beautiful. The respect. Obviously, you have that
Absolutely.
respect for your dad and for his ministry, for what he want. And I love that. You don't get that very often. I'm telling you, you really
Right.
don't. You get something like, okay, this is
Absolutely.
my life. I'm grown. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But you still respected what your dad put forth
And
and
still,
instilled in you.
right.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let me see
Absolutely.
here. I am looking at, you guys are tagging individuals, and thank you so much, Carmen. I see that you've joined us. Let's see, Apostle Miles, thank you for watching. Appreciate you. There's a question here on the Facebook live feed. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a good one. I was going to ask a little bit later. Okay, but this is good. This is from Brandy. I mean, here are my viewers. They want to know. They want to know this.
Okay. Okay.
How are you mentally and emotionally preparing for your performance at such an historic event on tomorrow?
Wow, great question. Indeed, this is a big stage, man. Just to be in front of the president-elect and vice president-elect at such a historical moment in life, and where we all need to unite. But I prepare myself, even as a child growing up. I pretend as if I was in front of the president, and they wasn't even in front of me. I would always give honor to God first for giving me this gift, and I just would just prepare myself and honor to the president and honor to this and that as if they were in the building. So I was preparing myself for this grand opportunity, and God has prepped me and given me different platforms to minister on. I've been on the Stellar Awards live on their television network, and I was on there again for their Christmas celebration. And each time the Lord affords me the opportunity to minister, I don't take one lightly, and I don't take one bigger than the other one. Although this is a grand, big stage, I look at it as if I'm working for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and as long as He is pleased with my work, I know the people will be pleased with what they hear.
Oh my God, you're giving some perfect answers today. My goodness.
It's just me. I was just me, man.
Right. But you reminded me of, you said that, when you were younger, you were like trying to act like you were performing in front of the president at that point. That's almost like a singer or a director of a choir directing in front of a mirror, just getting ready, for whenever.
Right.
Many of us
Absolutely.
did that. Many of us
I
did
was that guy. I was that guy. I
that.
was that guy.
I love it. Well, it sounds like you have it all together, should I say, to be prepared for tomorrow night. But let me ask you, what kind of emotions ran through you when you received the call that you were asked to perform for tomorrow?
Wow. And let me collaborate these answers. even when you said it seems like the preparation is there, at all times there's a sense of nervousness that comes about anybody that is ministering for Christ because of who you're representing. So that nervousness is there. Let me not dismiss that. So it's always there until I open my mouth and then I allow the Father to get involved. And so when I first received the message, it was December the 23rd, right before Christmas Eve. I was crying. I was here in my office over here in Hammond, Louisiana, and my manager, Apostle Vera Howard, called me and shared with me that I will be ministering for the presidential inauguration, first annual gospel celebration. Tears ran down my face because I was overjoyed just to be on this amazing platform. And I didn't take it lightly. I began to thank God. And the first person I wanted to call was my father, who I credit all of my success to him because he was faithful to God. And not only was he a preacher of the word, he also lived by that word and instilled in us to be humble and let God do the exalting. And as long as God bringing you higher, you don't have to worry about nobody else pulling you down, because he always make room for those of his children and put you before great people. So I'm just excited about this wonderful opportunity again. And I wanted to thank God and thank my father and my mother for how they brought me up and how they instilled in me to always give credit and honor to the one who allowed you to be where you are.
Oh, I love it. They have to be so proud of you. I know they are.
Absolutely. She just called me, and mama called me. She said, I didn't know you still answer the phone for little old people. I say, get out of here. And my dad in the background teasing with me, man.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
Yes,
They have got to
indeed.
be so ecstatic. I'm sure they are. But that's
Absolutely.
beautiful. Yeah, and for you to call your dad once you get the word, that is
Absolutely.
wonderful. That is so wonderful. Okay, let me make sure I asked everything that Brandy had in that one particular question. Let me see. Oh, okay. She asked, will your performance be live and where will they be? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So will your performance be live from wherever you are, and where will you perform?
It's going to be live from here. Everything is virtually. We were slated to go to DC, but January the 6th happened, and it's more safe for us to do it virtually. So we're going to be here shooting from Hammond, Louisiana, and it's an amazing, amazing experience. You guys make sure you tune in, reserve your seat, be in the building. I mean, the president elect and vice president elect will be in the building. So you need to be there, and all of these star-studded artists. It's going to be amazing. You guys need to tune in live with us. And you can't find a better ticket for $20. You can't. Just to go into one of these amazing artist concerts is way more than $20. So you get to see all of us for $20. You can't beat it nowhere. And make sure you're there to witness history in the making.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And you're right. You're accurate about that price. I'm telling you, it was only what, 19.99 or something. So yeah, really $20. But
Right,
yeah,
right,
for yourself and other gospel artists and all in one building for an event like
right,
this,
right.
you're spot on with that. Spot on. But okay, so it's not we're not going to get an already recorded or pre-recorded Mr. Showers performing songs for tomorrow
It's
night.
gonna
You
be live. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be live. Whether some of us pre-recorded or not, it still is live as far as like we did it that day and had to have it over immediately because everything was wrestling at the last minute. We knew we were ministering, but they were debating on where we're going to go over there or where we're going to fly to Atlanta and all shoot it together. But wherever you see us ministering from, it is live, it is in person, so you will get that feel. Trust me.
Wonderful. So but you said something. So really, up until last week, you kind of thought that you were going to be assembling together, that you were going to act.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. We were slated to go there, and then they had to change things up at the last minute because it's on high security alert because of everything that transpired, and that's well respected. We're honored to even have this virtual experience where people can sit in their homes safely and watch us minister. So they brought safety first. Even in the videos, the musicians that were not singing, they need to have masks on. My singers needed to practice social distancing, or it was not acceptable in the producer's site. So it's very serious.
Good, good, good. So they're obviously taking it real seriously, as you stated, and making sure
Absolutely.
that everybody is safe. And that's what's important because, from the top down, it wasn't being done. I'm not going to talk about that. But anyway, let me see. let me, let me, let me see.
Yes, indeed.
I just threw that in there. I just threw that in there.
Right.
Let's see, Michelle Casey, I see you on, and Tara, thanks for coming on and watching. That's Apostle's assistant there. So thank you so much for your help
Okay,
on
that's my
today.
girl. She's
Yes,
been amazing helping me, making sure I was where I need to be. Hey,
beautiful.
Terry.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's good to have people like that. I'm telling you. Uh,
Absolutely.
let's see. Darius is here. Hey, Darius, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. All of you that are aspiring to be artists, music artists, whether it's in the gospel world or whatever, you listen to this young man on today. I mean, he's spitting some knowledge, spitting some truth. Go ahead and tag and share individuals so that they will be able to hear him as well. We're also going to have another gospel artist to come on after him. But so don't go anywhere, guys. Make sure you share, tag, like, throw up the hearts, the care button, all of that. Okay, I want all of it.
That's right. That's right.
Let's see. Shannon is here. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you, and thanks for tagging individuals. Good afternoon to you. Hey, Chantel, thank you for coming in. Hopefully I'm scrolling back up so that I can make sure I didn't miss anyone that had anything before I go back to my questions. Let's
Amen.
see here. All right. So, and we've already started talking about, you're preparing for tomorrow's event. Now, I do need to ask you this, and I am kind of scooting down my little list. I'm throwing them out of order here, but that's okay. With everything that we have dealt with, Mr. Showers, especially including on last year in 2020, of course, we've dealt with the pandemic, we've dealt with racial unrest, and it seems like everything is just all topsy-turvy. I want to ask you, number one, how has everything that this entire world has gone through, within the past year or so affected you and your craft?
Wow, great question. It has affected my travels indeed, because before the pandemic, my great manager, Apostle Howard, had me all over the United States, and we were prepping to go out of the country right before the pandemic hit. But I've been stationary here. But I'm thanking God for the servitude that was instilled in me. I was still serving in my father's ministry in the midst of the pandemic, and the Lord also called me to lead worship at another church here in Louisiana in the midst of the pandemic. I also been writing all of the more and loving on my family all of the more, because man, it's just a great time to spend with your family. And I've birthed some great records that the world is getting ready to hear during this time such as this. We all need the Lord, and that's one of the records that I'm going to share at the inaugural celebration, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. And you can definitely go right now to download it at all digital outlets, and it's entitled "We Need You." So I'll be ministering "It's Gonna Be All Right," and the second one is "We Need You." So in the midst of the pandemic, I've been busy and thanking God, and it's affected my life as far as the travel, but the Lord still kept me as an essential worker. I have me and my brother own this great business where we provide assistance to kids to 5 to 24 and mental illnesses wise, and I'm still able to be an essential worker. My sisters have their businesses, so we all kind of work for each other. So the bills were still being paid. We were still able to be a blessing to families in Thanksgiving time, blessing over 300 families with turkeys. We blessed over 300 kids with Christmas gifts. So, the Lord has still been blessing. He's in the blessing business in the spite of the burdens and in spite of all of the ups and downs. He still has been good.
Oh, Mr. Showers. Wait a minute. Okay, so the business that you and your brother do is what again?
It's a mental health business where we provide assistance to kids from 5 to 24, and we also attend to some adults. We have like 40 employees, and they go out in the field and they visit with these kids to help them in the midst of their crisis, depression, anxiety, bullying stage, school, academics, whatever field of anxiety or depression or any mental illnesses that they may be wrestling with. We try to attack it and address it before it become worse.
Now, Mr. Showers, I'm gonna tell you this much. You and I are gonna have to connect after this show, okay? because you
Okay.
just piqued my interest with that alone. My show is basically it surrounds what it talks about is the psychological psychological and spiritual aspects of everyday life and how people are affected, whether it's the children, adults, or what have you, and in whatever stage of life that they're in. So that's really what my show is about. And I have my undergrad in psychology and working toward my master's. And
Wow.
so that, oh my God, I know we're supposed to be talking about music today, but you just kicked off something else in my but I love that. I love what you're doing. I love it
Yes, ma'am.
because too often our kids, they get pushed to the side there, and whatever they're dealing with is just kind of like, you'll be all right, maybe growing pains or
Right.
something like that, but they're really dealing with some things. I actually,
Absolutely.
and I'm gonna say this, and I'm going to move on, guys. I just posted on yesterday talking about here in Chicago, which is where I'm based. One of the Children's Hospital, Lurie Children's Hospital, actually put out there was an article that stated that since the pandemic began, they have seen a 50% increase in mental health
Absolutely.
visits, and that just tore at my heart.
Hmm.
But it again, it's something people don't normally think about, and they don't even address it because they don't think about
Right.
it.
It's
But
so much going on in these kids' lives. A lot of them growing up without a father, and then you lose lives of uncles and aunties around you because of the environment that they live in. But all they need is someone to love on them and to let them know that there's a better way. And so that's what me and the employees of O&M Family Care try to go share with them, that there is a better way, and here's the way. Show them the way and help them get out of their situations.
I love it. We need to have you expand to Chicago, but we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. I love it, and I thank you for what you're doing. You and your
Bless
brother
you.
and your family. Thank you so much for doing that.
Bless you.
Let's see here. I'm scrolling. I'm getting back on track, guys. I know you're
It's
probably
all
like, how
good.
she on sidetrack and talk about mental health. Trenda Fry is on. Thank you for watching. Darius, thanks for tagging. Hey, cousin Eric, thank you. Karen said, yeah, it's so much needed. And she's an educator here in Chicago, so she understands
Perfect.
that aspect. Crystal Garrison Cooper, thank you for watching on today. Make sure you guys, when you come in, hit that share button. You know what I always say, it costs you nothing. Just tap that share button. It
Tap
doesn't
that
cost
share
you
button.
anything. You don't have to pay anything. And then that way others will know that we are on live. And it is a different day that we're on. So we just want to alert them. Let me go back over here to my questions. That was a perfect response that you gave.
Bless you.
And I thank you for that. I'm just so excited for Mr. Showers on today. My
Me too.
Now let me ask you just a little bit about your music. Now you mentioned about you worked on a number of music that we're going to be blessed to hear during this pandemic that you've done. Now, do you write all of your own lyrics, all your songs yourself?
Absolutely. And I collaborate with someone if I get stuck in a certain area. I have great producers that I work with, two in particular, Mr. Lucius Hoskins and Mr. Vaughn Phoenix. And he actually resides there in Chicago. And these guys help me whenever I get stuck, man. And I'm just thankful for friendships and relationships that the Lord is allowing me to build with these great brothers. And man, it's amazing. And I do write all of my material because I need, not just be in the forefront and get a paid concert, but you also want to get that back end of the money, like, be a writer, be a producer. That's where it's at.
Good. Yeah, because everybody doesn't do that. I just wanted to know if that was one of your fortes, and I
Yes,
obviously it
ma'am.
is. Do you play
Great
any
question.
instruments as well?
I play it in my head, and I actually peck on the guitar a little bit, peck on the keys a little bit, just for ear's sake. I've never sat down and mastered one particular instrument, but I'm working on the acoustic as we speak, to master it, just to have it with me, because I love the acoustic worship sound, and I'm working on that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. All
Yeah.
right. With that in mind, now let me ask you yourself. I went up, I pulled up your discography, I pulled up a little biography, and how they kind of break things down. About the individual. Who would Mr. Showers say that his music is similar to?
Wow. Um, I'm a fan of everybody, man. It's amazing. And I try to mix all genres into my flavor. I grew up listening to Pastor Key. John P. Key is my favorite all-time artist. And as we speak in today's music, I love what Travis Green is doing. And I love what, all the goats, Fred Hammond, Diedrich, all of those guys' flavor. Even on the R&B side, I love Joe. Joe is a great singer. So I love to use some of his runs and make it be who Titus Showers is, because once I get out of the realm of Titus Showers and be like somebody else, don't nobody want to hear you. So, and the Bible tells me to minister according to the ability which God has given me. So I add all of those flavors of all of those great artists I just mentioned and make it be Titus Showers. So that's pretty much the answer I have for that.
I love it. I love it. I was trying to go back and see who did they say that you were kind of related your music, and which one? What was one of the ones that you just said? I was trying to see. You said a
John
couple of
P.
them.
Key, I
Actually.
like Joe, I like Travis. I have so many great artists that I listen to.
Let me tell you a few of them that they have in here. Uh, Joshua Rogers. I'm not sure who that is.
I know Josh, that's my guy. I know
Okay.
Josh.
Troy Sneed.
I know Troy.
I can kind of see that a little bit.
I know
Ernest
Troy.
Pugh. They say you kind of similar
That's
to
my guy.
Ernest Pugh. Okay, I
That's
like.
my brother. Uh-huh.
Okay, Kirk Franklin.
Well, somebody
Yeah.
need to hear me talk today. Hey, he's the GOAT, though. He's one of the GOATs because he's a genius. Absolutely.
He is. They also have Marvin Winans in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's one of
You
the goats
just
too.
don't want to know.
Come
That's
on, come
right.
on, come on, come
That's
on.
right. That's my guy.
And then also two more. Darwin Hobbs. I know him.
Wow.
Yeah. And Stephen Hurd.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So that they put
I
you
know
up
all
there
of
with
these
it.
great people. What a blessing.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
That's always actually kind of good to hear how other people kind of see you, or who you remind them of, if you will.
Right,
And then
right.
if you're in good company, you all good.
That's right. That's right. Right or wrong. That's right.
Let's see, you mentioned two songs that I actually have written down of yours. We Need You was one, and the other one was, is it, where did I,
It's gonna be all right.
Need You. Yeah, and it's right, and it's going to be all right.
That's
Okay.
right.
I have both of them down. And I was going
Uh-huh.
to ask you about both of them. You can start with whichever song. I want to know your background for those songs. Why don't we start with We Need You? What was the background of the song? Because I was listening to the beginning of your song, and the very first thing I heard you say is, "This is for the world." You remember saying that?
Absolutely.
You said
That's
that.
it. And
So,
that's it.
okay, go ahead.
It speaks for itself. It's for the world. And once you guys hear it, you will understand that it was written for us in the state and the condition that the world was in and is still in right now. We were in the midst of a pandemic, and my great A&R, Mr. Jared Dyson, connected me with Vaughn Phoenix, the great producer of this, on a Zoom call. And we was on Zoom for 4 hours, and we came up with this great record entitled "We Need You." And indeed, we all are searching for peace that we can't find. We're asking questions because we don't know why Corona came. We don't know why the injustices happen, but we all need you, Lord, to make a way. We all need you. That's why we pray. We need you to come in our lives in this place, and we all need you right now. So, and that's what the record is saying. It's worshipy in the beginning, and then you're gonna be bobbing your head like, okay, yeah. Oh, I want to see all of the homies, all of the ladies, everybody, hands up, let's go. And it's gonna be one of those records. It's really feel good to you. It's gonna make you cry and make you bob your head at the same time.
And he is telling the truth, guys, because that's exactly what happened to me. Now, I'm a lyric girl, Mr. Showers. I love to
Uh-huh.
listen to lyrics. That's how I heard that at the beginning.
Right, absolutely,
But yeah,
absolutely.
there was some of the things you said in there. I won't let you go.
Right. Till you answer me.
We all need you to make a way. I'm like, wow, no, I'm not gonna let him
Right.
go until he answers me. But
Come on, answer me.
we're in need of answers. We are,
That's right.
and
That's right.
God knows that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of times He
Right.
wants us to ask Him, or wants us to come to Him, and that perfect lyrics for this
Yes,
season.
indeed. Absolutely. You can
Perfect.
ask him some questions. He'll give you some answers. You may not like the answers that he give you, but you definitely can ask the question. Absolutely.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Okay, so give us the background on It's Gonna Be All Right. And it's
Well, I
gonna be
wrote
all right. It's not going to. It's gonna be all right.
it's gonna. That's right. You better speak it. So listen, man. The Lord gave me that record. Initially after a family tragic experience, my mother and father lost their home in a tragic fire. It was their dream home. They built it. And then in 2017, they lost it in a fire. And so the Lord kept waking me up in the middle of the night after losing all the material possessions, but he spared the lives of all of us. He said it's working for your good. You just do what you could and watch I make everything all right. So I'm like, come on, Lord, you woke me up for that, but it all makes sense. He's restored the home bigger and better. He gave us all of those things that was lost, and he let the world know in the midst of a pandemic, no matter how it looks, it's working for your good, and it's gonna be all right.
Oh, wonderful. Let's see, I love to hear the history of stuff and how things came about because you just never know. Like for instance, with Marvin Sapp, I think what never would have made it was it when his father died or something, if I'm not
Right,
mistaken.
right, right.
And
Somewhere similar to that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And actually, I don't think he was planning on putting that out. But his late wife at the time, I think, if I'm not getting anything mixed up, she encouraged him to to
Mhm.
uh, to release it and put it out there. And that's like one of the top songs. Never would have made it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
okay, all right. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me see what else I have here. You guys, again, if you're just now joining us, I'm talking to Mr. Titus Showers. He is one of the wonderful gospel music artists that will be performing at the first inaugural gospel celebration. It will be virtual on tomorrow. And I'm telling you, especially after these past couple of weeks, well, after this past year, we need some good gospel music. And
That's
so you
right.
guys want to make sure that you hop on over to that website. And I believe earlier Brandy did put the website in there so that you can get your tickets. I'm not getting any kickbacks. I'm not trying to promote it for myself, guys, but I want to encourage you all to join them on tomorrow. What I'm going to do is pin that. I'm going to pin that comment so that you will be able to see the website. It is the 2021 igc.org. That's the website where you can go to get your tickets for the inaugural gospel celebration. And I'm excited about that because gospel is being, recognized, if you will, gospel music.
That's right.
Music is universal. We understand that, but the gospel music sometimes is not necessarily recognized a whole lot at big events like this. So I think this is wonderful that they have this all planned out. Darius said he can't wait to hear it. And you can't wait to hear his song or tomorrow night. But you all, I'm telling you, make sure you type in. If you did not know who Mr. Showers was before this interview today, you need to make sure you go and look him up because he's hot. I'm telling you, he's hot. That
Bless you, bless you.
on it. And I'm not just saying it because you're here. I really did enjoy your music. Now,
I appreciate you.
you know how your mom used to always say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Don't say
I
it at
wouldn't say
all.
anything about it like
That's
it. I'm gonna
right.
tell you the truth.
I
But
appreciate that.
I enjoyed even those songs that I actually focused on and your other material as well. Let's see, Dan, Apostle Hunt, thanks for watching. I see you. We appreciate you. Go ahead and throw any comments, questions into the chat box on here on Facebook Live. And let me make sure that I am not missing anything that I wanted to ask Mr. Showers. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. So and you kind of talked about it a little bit, but so basically, what is the message that you yourself want to leave? So if we kind of go back to December 23rd, when you received the call that you were going to be performing at the concert on tomorrow, did you go forth into saying, okay, Lord, I want to make sure that I get this point across to the people? Did thoughts like that come to your mind, and what were they?
Absolutely. That's a message before each one of us minister. Every artist on the stage, they asked us to share a message of unity. And that message I shared was that, we praying that this team will bring us together and help us to live up to our name, the United States of America. In the midst of the division and everything that is going on, we are so divided, and I want unity to occur. In the midst of working for the Lord, all of us should want to love one another. And in the book of Matthew, he shared that great message. He said, love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. And he said, the second is likened unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. He didn't give a specific color of your neighbor. He just told us to love one another the way that God told us to love. And if we would do that, we wouldn't see color, we wouldn't see nothing. And so the message and song that I'm sharing with America is, listen, love your neighbor, and it's going to be all right. And look to Jesus, because we need him.
Yes, yes. Love, love, love. I have
Absolutely.
been seeing posts around on social media saying, how can we make America great again? Let's love one another.
Period. Love the way God told us to love, man. And that's the way America can be great, because it wasn't great for us all in the first place. But
Mm-mm.
in order for it to be great, we need to love the way God wants us to love, not the way you were taught to love, or somebody has taught you how to love. It's the way God told us to love.
Love it. Love it. Keep lifting him up. He's going to draw, right?
That's right. That's right.
I love it. I love it. So you mentioned earlier about the president-elect and the vice president-elect will be in attendance during this celebration. How do you want your music to impact this new administration?
Definitely, I want it to be a unifying message that come from out of my lips unto their hearts and unto the world hearts. Because we need to love again. I can't stress it enough, and that's what I want America to know. Listen, we all gonna fall short, but God can make it all right. No matter what we're going through, no matter how dark it looks, but at the end of the tunnel, there's a light that's shining, and that light is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So that's the message that I will be sharing with you on tomorrow. And I pray that America tune in and that they will heed the message instead of just hearing the message.
Heed it instead of just hearing it. I like
That's
that.
right.
All right. You get that on the sweatshirt or something. Heed instead.
I'm gonna tag that. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, do it, whatever you need to do. Oh, well, yeah, we are praying and actually believing God that your music, Mr. Showers, will definitely impact this new administration.
Bless you.
And I don't see any other way around it. I believe that it's going to.
I
You guys
appreciate it.
make sure you go and look up Mr. Showers, Titus Showers. Titus
That's
is
right.
in the Bible, y'all. It's in the book. It's in the
That's
book.
right. That's right. It's in there. Go check it out. That's right.
Titus Showers, and he has some awesome, awesome music. Why don't you give us maybe just a few names of some of your other songs that you have pinned?
Definitely. On the Showers Family Sophomore Project, I wrote like 4 songs on there. I have another song entitled Love. Um, I belong to you, and I have another song called I Need Your Help, Lord. I wrote other songs entitled oh man, I'm starting to get a catalog. Wow. Listen, I wrote a song called Make It, in his name. I featured on other great records that was written for me, that you guys will be blessed by. But definitely go check out my record. I remixed and revised the 1955 Blind Boys record that was a favorite of my grandmother, and she sang it on a dying bed, and it's entitled The Lord's Prayer, but I named it Amen. You guys need to check that out as well. It will bless your life. And just look out for me, man. There's more to come. Just type in the name and follow me on my platforms, man. I have a new Instagram account because my old Instagram account was hacked over a month ago. So if anybody know anybody that works over there, connect them with me. But my new Instagram is at the Titus Showers. Twitter is at the Titus Showers, and Facebook, go into my fan page, Titus Showers, and you can find all of my contact information on these pages.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, I believe I did follow the correct one. So, what are you on
Prophet
Instagram again? The
at the Titus Showers, right?
Yes, I did. And actually, it's the I think your profile is what you just showed when
We
you,
need you. Right.
yes, yes. Okay, I got it. I got the right one.
That's right. Thank you.
So you guys make sure you check out Mr. Showers. I'm telling you, he's doing great things, and I'm excited for him and what God is doing through him. Because again, we need this. We definitely need this. So Mr. Showers, thank you again for your time on today. I appreciate you coming in, you sharing with us and giving us all this wonderful knowledge that you have you blessed us with on today. So thank you again. And I know you're busy, so I appreciate you taking time out to come get caught in the net on today.
Thank you for having me on this wonderful platform. Look forward to meeting you in person when the Lord allows us to be free.
Yes, I know, right? Let's get rid of all these masks and we can just meet.
That's right. Blessings on you. Thanks for having me.
Blessings to you too as well. I'll be watching tomorrow night.
Bless you.
All right. All right, great. I'm so grateful to be able to talk with Mr. Showers on today. And as you guys see, I have another guest that we are going to highlight on this afternoon. Mr. Bryan Popin is in the virtual house. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Glad to be here. It's an honor to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It is my honor, my pleasure to meet you as well. And I'm so excited that you came in on today. We're going to chat with you. And also I have a few questions for you, but we're going to kind of highlight. But before we get into that, let me say this. I love your music. Okay, let me just say that.
Oh, that's sweet. That's nice. That makes me feel good. Now you're buttering me up for some reason. Come on. Don't say no but. Don't say I love your music, but.
Oh, no. There's no buts. There's no buts.
Okay,
but,
all right.
No, it's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm telling you. But what I want you to do is to kind of talk to my viewers on today about who Mr. Popin is. Maybe give us a little bit of background about yourself. He's coming in, guys, today. You guys know that I had two guests that I was going to feature, Mr. Showers, who just exited, and then, of course, now Mr. Bryan Popin. So I'm going to have him introduce himself to you, tell you a little bit about his background, personally in music or whatever he wants to share with us on today.
Yeah, so obviously my name is Bryan Popin. I have been in full-time music ministry for 24 years, which a lot of people don't know. And by your face, I can tell that you didn't know that either. I started, right out of high school. I graduated high school early, and at 17, I became a licensed minister and became full-time in ministry. So I started as a concert pianist. I was trained by my mama, who was a strict enforcer of the classics. So she was also a choir director. So I learned old school church music. I learned the hymns of the church, classical music like Mozart sonatas, Bach pieces, and interventions and stuff like that. Then as I progressed to, a little bit later in life, I started sampling music, and I started loving hip hop and R&B and funk music, and figuring out what Bryan Popin liked, and all that mixed up in one. I started working with a R&B funk producer in New York City, and I started behind the scenes setting up mics and working the computer and learning how to do studio stuff. And that's when I met Stevie Wonder and Shaka Khan, and Bootsy Collins would come in and lay down a bass line. And, I was just around people I had no business really being around. I didn't have the credentials, all that stuff. And then God kind of just propelled me into a series of ups and downs in life, where I almost lost my marriage. I didn't really value my family as much as I should have. I didn't prioritize things as well. I wanted to have a ministry, but I didn't really know what that all entailed or what my calling was. I didn't really know who I was or what style I was. All of it was, culminating to this moment right now. And so through those seasons, I learned to worship. I learned to minister instead of perform. I learned to love people and how, figuring myself out and what my sound was and all that. And so that's where I'm at right now. So a lot of your songs that you may have heard of mine, or my songs that you may have heard, like All Back, or I Got Out, or I Can Make It, or Such a Time as This, or Step in the Name, they've really all been, prophetic words to me that really helped kind of snapped me into a different mindset of trusting God. And then when I saw it into fruition, we released these songs and they became theme songs for other people. So, I am what I am. I don't know exactly if you can pigeonhole me, but I do know that I love music. I've always loved soul music, and I've always had a real love for the culture. And like I said, I've been doing this for 24 years in different facets. But most people have just been hearing me because we've been promoting music at radio for the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I have to tell my audience this. This
Yeah.
is really a soul brother y'all looking at right now. He really is. He's got a lot of soul in his music.
Some of it's from my mama, and some of it's from listening to other styles of music and being raised in the church. But you know, if you don't love something, then you don't love something. But I love you know, styles of music, and I love the culture, and I made sure that I was around it and raised in it. And you know, I have a lot of friends, so I can learn more about them and what they've been through. And then I'm also, oh yeah, I'm also a Christian, so I care. I mean, really, like, right? I care about people, and I care about what offends or hurts or the injustice. I mean, like, it affects me, especially because I've had a diverse music ministry over the last so many years. So it's like everything I've built up to this point breaks my heart when I feel like we are so divided, because it's everything against what I've stood for and patterned my life around. So I know you hear it in my music, but it's cool now where we get to like talk personally, and you hear this the message behind the music.
Yeah, and that's key. That's very important.
Yeah.
Behind the music, and then also I was just telling Mr. Showers earlier, I'm a lyric girl, so I listen to
Okay.
lyrics. I'll hear the lyrics before I really, you know. Then the music, the beat, all that comes later for me. That's just how my brain works. I don't know, but I love to hear the lyrics, and that tells me a lot. It tells me a lot about that songwriter, the one who's performing it. And a lot of times it just probably just depends on what I'm going through and how it's ministering to me, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
So I love when, you know, artists will take the time to, you know, write and take the time to write something that has meaning, you know, because
well, then you'll appreciate this, because I'm a melody guy. So like, I'll remember melodies for years. I'll remember electric guitar solos before I'll remember other things. Like, I just remember, you know, and my ear has been trained to hear music a certain way. But sometimes God will give me like I Can Make It, which was the first song anybody like really heard of mine. I Can Make It was a vamp that I had years before the song came to pass. And so like, I had in my heart, I had this little boom, 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 like this vamp, right? And so I didn't know what that was going to be. So God like hits me a certain way with a melody or with a feel. And then he allows me to go through something in life. And then when I get out of that situation, or sometimes while I'm going through it, he gives me the lyric, and I know it's for that, you know, music that I've been working on. So it's not really like I sit down to write a song and then all of a sudden this song is birthed. It's never ever like that.
wow.
So yeah, it's always like a melody or something that's been in my heart for like weeks or a month or even more. And then I go through something and God's like, yep, there you go. You just got your lyrics.
Wow.
And that's an encouragement to other people that have endured the same thing. And, you know, that's the beauty of what we do as artists, but also as writers. You know, you can connect with people on another level with music, because that song helped me get through my marriage. That song helped me not give up. That song helped me, you know, I mean, whatever it might be.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so you missed the melody and I missed lyric. I got it.
That's actually a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. You have to have that balance for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop over here to Facebook Live because they're jumping and chiming in here, and do want to encourage you all to go ahead and make sure any questions, comments that you have for Mr. Popin on today, I will be toggling back and forth, and I will read them, and we'll throw them at him, so we'll see if he can answer. As you were talking, Apostle Hunt put on here favor, that you have favor. Yeah, I would agree with that. There was, let's see, another comment. Walter Jones says, I like him. Walter, if you listen to his music, you're really going to like him. Trust me. Go and check him out.
You know, to touch on that last comment about favor, I have a song on my last project called, on the I Got Out project, called Favor and Mercy. And I love that song because it's just like a kind of a beat. And the lyric says, favor and mercy, it follows me. It follows me. It follows me. Favor and mercy, it follows me. And I've really felt like my whole life that's been the case, because I've messed up. I've made bad choices. I've made wrong choices. I put my ministry above my family, above my marriage. I almost claimed bankruptcy. I just like you, I needed a healing in my wrist. I had carpal tunnel going on. The devil was trying to take out my gift, and all this stuff. So as artists and as writers, we still need to trust God and rely on God and learn how to worship and all through the thick of it, and the pain and the hurt and the confusion and all of that. And so, that comment favor is just, it means so much to me, because so many times in my life I felt like I didn't have any business. Like, even for this inaugural event that we're talking about, like, I look at the people on there, Marvin Sapp and Fred Hammond. I mean, these are people like, that I'm honored to just be associated with, because their music has blessed me so much through the years. And Ty, I look up to for his energy and his gift, and his passion and his music, and Dietrich, and just to be. And some of these people are my friends as well over the years, but just to be on this event, and then the message behind it all, to come together and move forward in unity. I mean, it's so needed. It's so needed. And so, yeah, favor means a lot to me, because favor puts you in a position that maybe sometimes you didn't deserve to be in. And that's how I feel in my heart, even though some people will say, no, Bryan Popin, we love your music, but I think it's important to stay humble and be thankful for any opportunity God gives you.
Yeah, love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
that's a good perspective that you have on now, Mr. Popin. And I'm sure it's probably because, like you said, of the things that you experienced. And
Yeah.
it's almost like you have, I don't want to say a second chance, another chance.
Yeah. Well, I also don't forget that there's been so many times in my life when I was looked over or passed over or forgotten about. I mean, everybody feels that, as not just an artist, but even in a position where your job, you're trying to get this or get that. And well, don't they know I put in the time, put in the work, put in the effort? So anytime you are, acknowledged or thought about or remembered, even if somebody nowadays, man, with COVID, like when pastors call me to check on me and see if I'm okay, and can we give you a little something? Can we bless you? I mean, you have no idea what that means to me. I think, like, I know I have an old school heart, and I'm even though I don't look traditional, I have a traditional heart. So go figure. But, that means a lot. It means a lot to just like pick up the phone and not text and call and hear somebody's voice, and somebody take the time out of their busy schedule to reach out. I mean, I'm just really thankful. And that's because I've been through some things.
Yeah. And the Lord sees all of that. I love it. Divine Favors on. Elise says, okay, Mr. Melody. Let's see. Oh, Carolyn says she has her ticket for tomorrow. And let me just throw back out. I said in the earlier session, you guys make sure you go to the website. And if you're on the Facebook Live feed, down at the bottom, I pinned the actual website link so that you guys can make sure you go get your tickets. You don't want to miss this tomorrow night, I'm telling you. A lot of great artists in the house. Zoriante Brown, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. That's our minister of music at my church.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Divine says, I claim favor and mercy as well. Hope to meet you one day and be on the same program with you. Remember?
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. She's a sweetheart, though. She really is. So yeah, let's see. I am going to go scroll down to some more of my other questions that I have here. And of course, I am not ignoring any of you all on Facebook. You can still throw yours in there and I'll come back over and read yours. So we talked about your background. I don't know, did I ask you this? Was gospel music always your passion? I think you kind of talked a little bit about some other music that you like.
Yeah, I mean, I think music in general is my passion, but I've found a love for, I mean, if you say gospel music, I would agree with that. I think originally it started with church choir music, and then it progressed into gospel music. And, I also really liked soul music, and I like music that moves you. And I just kind of felt like a connection with that, because you sing about real life stuff, not, stuff that you've been through and stuff that you've experienced. And gospel is dear to my heart, because just like everybody else that's a believer, I mean, we look to God as our source and our strength and our peace and all that. So as we're hurting and as we're going through what we're going through, we're singing about Jesus and walking this walk just like everybody else. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, God, yeah, I mean, you can't do something and authentically connect with somebody unless you love it. I mean, so I've always loved it. And I think that shows, obviously, because everybody's like, well, how can you do what you do and sound like you sound? You don't look like you. And what does that mean? I mean, I've been in an environment almost my whole life around that, and I've fallen in love with not only the culture but the sound. So
Yeah.
anything you pursue, you're gonna smell a little like and look a little like and be a little like. And I
Well,
think I look at that as a compliment.
and you should. You should.
Yeah.
And you're right. Anything you're around, that's what you're going to resemble.
Yeah.
And you know, and I always say whatever is in you're going to come out. I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but my siblings and I, and some of you probably experienced this too. It's like as we were coming along, and even now, we'll just make up a song about anything.
Yeah. I like to do that too. And I tell my kids, because I got 6 kids, and I'm like, you can't talk in the car when you got to sing it like Broadway or something. And yeah, it can be really stupid, but it's fun.
Oh, actually, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, especially with 6 kids. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. You got to, with 6 kids, you got to be a little crazy.
Right. Well, let me see. I know you've already talked about how, your music basically has kind of helped you through a lot of your hard times. You mentioned about your marriage and other things that you dealt with. During the times that you were going through these situations, if you will, how close were you to your music at that point? And how far did music have to reach and grab you?
I mean, there's times when I don't really, music in general, you mean me, like, sometimes I just need a little break from music.
I mean, were you still really writing and doing songs during the times that you were dealing, say, for instance, with your marriage?
I mean, I'm listening to things and worshiping and stuff, but no, I mean, there's times it specifically that time, I if I can remember, like 8 or 9 years ago, that specific instance, I mean, I know there's been dry seasons, you know what I mean? And during those dry seasons, it's like I don't even want it, because your heart is maybe hard because you're calloused. And maybe somebody that's listening right now feels the same way, because I've realized God has allowed me to experience certain things that may not be the same situation, but it's the same string. It's the same feeling of anger. It's the same feeling of injustice, even though I may not have felt that same situation, but it's so that I can feel it, that rawness, that hurt, that pain, so that I can maybe figure out, hey, how am I going to process this and get through it? And then how am I going to help other people? And so, yeah, there's times when I don't even touch the keyboard for weeks. And I know that sounds like how, but it's like, it just is. And sometimes there's a dry season, and that's when I'm learning to pray more. I'm learning to get in the word more. And, God is developing me in other areas, but specifically with my marriage, I was putting my marriage above ministry. I'm sorry, I was putting ministry above my marriage. So I was like, let's say, grinding and trying to get this song and write with this person and all this, pursuing hits and all this. And God was like, go ahead, do what you're doing, but you're going to lose everything that's of value to you. And I was. And so only because of the Holy Spirit and me listening to that voice, because just because God's, knocking on that door doesn't mean that you're listening, right? And so I said, God, help me, teach me. And so I was putting my ministry and my career above my wife and my kids. And I had to restructure that and reprioritize that. And I'm telling you, the second I did, it was like, boom, God opens a door with this person, and we start a label, and boom, God blesses me here, and boom, God. It's like he was just waiting on me, but I thought I was waiting on God. I mean,
See, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's amazing
It
how
is.
God does sometimes. I'm telling you, you could be going along and it seems like everything is okay. And you may have even thought that, oh, it's okay. I mean, I need to do this ministry, family will be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, subconsciously, you may have been thinking that way.
Yeah.
And, guys, like you said, he said, okay, just keep going. You'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting here talking about it and thinking about it. I'm like, gosh, 7 years ago, if I knew I was going to get through that and endure that for this moment right now, to be able to talk about that for someone else that's listening right now, write songs about it. I mean, like, obviously God has a bigger picture than I do.
Yeah.
And I've learned to just surrender to it. You know, I used to freak out. I used to stress more. Now I just walk through stuff and I'm like, nah, that's not going to get me today. No, that's not going to take my joy. That's not going to take my peace. And I've learned God's more interested in your character, which is really no fun for us. You know, while we're going through it, we don't like the process, but in the long run, which is how God thinks, you know, he thinks long term, and he's going to use that situation. He's going to use that experience.
Yeah.
And he's doing that right now with all of us.
Yes, he is. You just said a
Yeah.
word. I'm telling you, while you're going through that thing, I'm telling you, I've been dealing with something since August. I can't. And I told the Lord, I said, okay, I'm gonna give my testimony, but he's not done yet. It's not time for me to.
Yeah. And I always say, and that's the song that I wrote, what is it? Such a Time as This, you know, because I felt like that wasn't a good season for me, but yet God still said, no, I know your name. And I know why I made you and formed you and created you. And you may not be feeling like this is your season, but I still created you for such a time as this. And so for me, that was like, okay, everything is a book, let's say, and you may be in chapter 4. Well, there's still a chapter 5, 6, 7, and 8. But your 4 is really important for you to get to 5 and to get to 6 and 7 and 8. So, you know, everything is still a process, and God's going to use every chapter in your life. But chapter 4 may not be a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying?
No, Lord Jesus. Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. There is a question on the Facebook Live feed that kind of goes along with what I was just asking about you know, dealing with your marriage and everything. Zori asks here, how do you balance family with your career in music? Now, since you've gotten this new opportunity to realize what's important, how do you balance it now?
I think balance is important, because without balance, it's chaotic, you know. But even our 6 kids, I feel like we call that controlled chaos. You know, I mean, there's a lot of different personalities and there's a lot of stuff going on. And I think now I'm at a place where I get to kind of pick and choose a little bit more of things, as opposed to just trying to do and take on anything. I think learning to say no sometimes is really important. It's hard to do because I'm a people pleaser. I mean, I really am. And if you don't like me or don't want me, then I'm coming after you. Like, that's my nature and my DNA. And so God knew that. And that's why I'm doing what I do. And he put me in the position to do this. But balance is really important. And who controls that balance? You do. You know, I mean, the time you allow people to have is up to you. You know, if you make a schedule or don't make a schedule. I mean, balance is just really important. I also have an incredible wife. I mean, that's true. I have an incredible wife that allows me and wants me to do what I do because she believes in the calling on my life. And that's really important. If you're unequally yoked and you don't have that, that's going to be hard. I mean, that's really going to be hard. But I'm thankful I have my wife. She steps up when I need help, and then vice versa. When I'm done doing like this interview or whatever I'm doing, you know, I'm back helping with the kids on the virtual online school. And you know, it's just good teamwork. And if you don't have that team effort, then you're going to get to a place where I was years ago. Well, I ain't going to help you. You know, why am I going to help you? You go ahead and you do your ministry if that's all that's important to you. You don't care about me. And you don't have that balance. You don't have that teamwork, because now you got one team that feels like they ain't a team. It's all about me, and it's all about my career and my, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you've got to work on the other things in your life and make them feel valued, so that when it's time to do God's work, and you know, that they support it. So I mean, I touched on a few things, but
no, but that's good. That was excellent. Last thing you said, you talked about team. There's no I in team. You know, we've heard that. So you have to have that balance, and I love it. And I'll just be honest. I've always had an issue with maybe those who were in ministry who kind of. I'm trying to say this nicely. Don't
say it nicely. Just say it.
I don't want to offend or hurt anyone, but
don't sugarcoat it. Come on. We can take it. We can take it.
Well, I'm sure you've heard the saying, "You're so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good." So we have to make sure, like you said, you have that balance so that you won't be one of those that just thinks, oh, it's just straight ministry, even though you're married, you got 10 children and you got houses and you're not even paying attention to all of that. I don't believe God wants that. So
no, and the culmination of that is, I'm a big believer because of my dad. I'm a big believer in doing everything you know to do because God's enabled you and equipped you and given you the mindset and all that. So we trust and rely on him, but he still wants you to put in the work, right? Because he works through people. So like, you've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the time. You've got to, like in COVID now, like I'm trying to be a videographer, an editor, things that I never really knew how to do. So I'm on YouTube, I'm watching this, and if I can save some money fixing my sink or fixing my toilet or whatever, I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to figure that out. So like you put in the work and the time, and then you say, God, I've planted the seed. I'm going to ask you to bless it. I'm going to ask you to put favor on my life, that even though I feel entitled that this should be mine, but yet I'm still feeling like I'm looked over and people don't care and people are walking right past me. God, please let me be visible. Let my heart shine through it all and open up a door, open up a way, like you still got to put in the work. And I meet so many artists and so many singers, and it's almost like a spirit of jealousy because they're like, I want to do what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, are you willing to do free events? And they're like, what do you mean? Why do I got to do free events? How am I going to make a living? And I'm like, well, for years before anybody heard my name, I was doing free conferences, free events. I'd be around any pastor event I could be around just for the exposure, and that one free event I was doing, lo and behold, that's where Bishop Jake saw me. And Bishop Jake started having me a part of Woman Thou Art Loosed events when I was a concert pianist because he likes piano. So, you never know. It's almost like you're a Christian. So you got to do everything with excellence and with a good heart, because you got joy from the Holy Spirit. So it's like you put in the work and you do it to the best of your ability, and people are going to watch and they will, give you an opportunity, even when you're not making the big bucks and even when you're doing free events and all that. And I also tell artists like, well, how people going to hear you? Do you have a demo? No, I don't play. I only sing. Okay. Find somebody that plays that, can help you acquire a demo, record a demo. Make sure that, if an A&R person or somebody or pastor, whatever, that how they going to hear you if you haven't done anything, and then they're like, well, I ain't got no money. Well, find a way to get a job, make some money and get your demo together. I mean, like, these are practical things, like if you want to start that business, what name you gonna call the business? Go get your LLC, go, like, this is like normal things. You don't have to be so spiritual and so, of the mind of Christ. Like, let's be real people because we live in this world. And then once we do all that stuff, say, God bless it. You know what I mean?
I mean, you are keeping it real here today. Popin, my
Jesus.
I love it. And wait, somebody put on here, Bryan is real. He sure is. But you know what? I'll say this, and I'm going to move on and read some more comments. But that's what we need. Yeah. We need that realness. We need, someone to come on here and to be transparent and to say, hey, I didn't do this right in my midst. I didn't do this right on my job. But now this, but now that. We need that because
and my whole life, yes, I've been raised in the church most of my life, and I've always been the one that was like, I want to know how you got to where you've gotten. I want to know what you endured, and I want to know the trials, and I want to know the dry seasons. I want to hear about that because I know from my own life now. I mean, I know that's what got you to that place. Now we're talking, throw out the spiritual because God can appoint and anoint. We get all that too. But what did you do? And a lot of people, it's the same qualities. That's where they studied. That's where they worshiped. That's where God spoke to them. That's where he gave them the creative ideas. It's all during those dry seasons. So you could be like in the most pivotal moment in your life right now, and you're tossing it to the curb like it don't matter. I mean, it does matter. This is a time when you should be pressing in and God should be speaking or giving you something, because this is going to be your future here soon, where you'll be on the other side like I am here and sharing your testimony and your heart. But I want the real stuff. I don't want too much realness. I feel like in today's culture, like a little too much realness is, ooh, I don't want to know all that.
I know it can get a little bit overwhelming sometimes,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but a little bit be nice, because I did come from the name it and claim it days, and like that was like denying truth almost. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a faith guy and I get all that, but I still want the truth, and I want to be able to speak to that truth and say, no, my word, my Bible says. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you gotta at least know what truth is before we go there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I love this. Oh my goodness, you got some good nuggets on today. Let's see. Dimitri Pitt say, I love it. I thought I was waiting on God, but he was waiting on me. Yes. They're going to pull some of your nuggets today. Trust me.
Come on.
Les Jackson is on. Thanks for watching. Control Chaos. Karen says, I like that. She's one of our educators hopping on here, so she understands that. Deacon, great to see you. And Zori, I think he answered your question. You said great advice about the balance between the ministry and family. Dimitri Pitt says, he says something right there. Do everything with excellence. Yeah, I like that. And they're loving your transparency and your realness on here. Let me just throw that out there. Sharon Hudson, thanks for coming in and watching on today. Another comment here. He's speaking an authentic word of truth. Tell the whole of it, not just the best parts. That's how people learn and grow. I truly agree with that statement, Pitts. You know me. I love transparency when it's going to help somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when people are comfortable enough in sharing, what they've dealt with that will help somebody else, because you never know. You may be coming out of that tunnel. Somebody else may be going straight into that same tunnel. And so you coming out of in your experience and you being transparent and open about it is what's going to be the difference, and how they come out. So I firmly agree with that. Now, we've been talking about, COVID this past year, talked about that in the earlier session with Mr. Titus. How has your craft been affected with this? I was looking at, let's see, which video is that with Tasha?
Beautiful Savior.
Yes, Beautiful Savior. Did you write that and perform that within this past year? Because it seems like it, because it was like a video of her in your video. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that we released that in March because we were going to do, it's my new worship single, which is a different sound than most people are accustomed to hearing from me. But I wanted to put out a song that is my heart. Not that the others aren't my heart. I'm just saying, like, I'm a worshiper at heart. And a lot of people are like, well, you got out and you can make it. And, all this stuff, I'm taking it all back. I mean, but I felt like, I'm claiming all those things, and God has done all that for me. And those are all testimonial songs. But the dry seasons and just the desert times, like we're talking about, is worship. It's worship, that helps me feel like I'm still something when I feel like nothing. It makes me still realize that God hasn't forgotten my name, even when I feel like he has, or people have. I mean, there's more to it than that, but worship has just been a really big key in my life. And so Tasha is a worshiper, and we've done a few events together, and I was like, that little sauce you got, that I see you do live. I was like, that's what I want on this song, because this song, I wrote this song years ago, but I wanted to put it out because I always believed in the song and the simplicity of it, but the sound wasn't right. And so I wanted it to be more diverse. And so I asked her to be on it, and she sent me some snippets of what she was thinking she was going to do. And I was like, why are you sounding so pretty and like so perfect and all that? She's like, well, I thought that's what you wanted. And I was like, no, I want you to be you. Like, I want you to, if you feel something, I want you to give me that grit and give me that heart and cry out. And, and she goes, oh, you want me to be me? And I was like, yeah, that's why I asked you to be on the song. And then what she, sent me back next was like, oh, that's what I've been hearing in my head. And so it's really cool to see how it all comes to pass. But yeah, that was a video we did because of home quarantine. And so I put it out as a home quarantine worship video, and she recorded at her place, and I did that at my home, and that's what we put out. So that's on YouTube. You can go check it out. Beautiful Savior. And, you'll see my arms lifted like this. And I think that's the cover of it. But yeah, that's special because, who knows if we'll ever see these times again. And so it's kind of cool that we were able to produce something like that during this time. And
Yeah.
a lot of people have connected with it because the first line in that song says, "You have rescued me, completely set me free." And when I originally wrote that lyric, I was talking about, just backsliding or second chances or God saving us and swooping us out, right? But I lost my dad about 4 months ago, and I had never gone through such hurt and anger that I had gone through ever in my life until that time. And I'm not going to delay this any, but I'm just going to get right to the heart of it. I was going down a bad place. I was angry. I was frustrated. I was blaming the place that was supposed to be taking care of my dad. And he had a brain bleed and a fall, and he had a seizure, and he just was a vegetable. And then he came from one facility, went to another, then another facility. And here he is 2 months later, worshiping with me, hand lifted, singing, "Oh, How I Love Jesus," as I'm playing FaceTime with him. And I'm like, praise God, man, God, you did it, blah, blah, blah. And then 1 week later after that, he passed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. In fact, the first live event I did I think it was in August or late July. The first live event I did, as soon as I got off the stage, I got the phone call that your dad had passed. And I was like, what do you mean passed? I was just in this cloud for a while of anger, and I felt injustice. Like I really did. Like I felt like that facility and these people, and how could they? And I was mad. I mean, the happy I can make it, you ain't gonna take my peace, devil, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't around at that time. And so that line really became so important to me, because he rescued me and he set me free from that anger, from that depression, from that darkness, from that. And the enemy was trying to really just take my gift, but also take my joy and take my peace. And I know my dad's in a great place right now. It wasn't that. It was the selfish nature of myself letting him go. I mean, I get all that, but I also I was really angry and frustrated because of the injustice. And then all this stuff started happening, with the injustice in the culture, and with our race division and stuff going on in today's world. And we saw a lot of light and truth, but yet a lot of people are hurting. And as a Christian, I'm supposed to care about other people. But if I maybe didn't really experience what you experienced or someone else experienced, can I relate? Mm-hmm. And so I really feel like God allowed me to feel that same cord or string of injustice and that anger, and that really hit home for me. And I felt like God allowed me to experience that so that I could get through it, overcome it, and then share it with others and say, you know what, if your heart is hard right now, and please listen to me and hear my truth, but if your heart is hard from something someone else did to you or something else you've seen, know that not everything in the world is bad. Not all people, white people, Latinos, and not all African-American people, we're not all the same. And so if God still wants to use you and still wants to use me, then our heart has to be soft and pliable to him. And if it's hardened by the stress of life and the pain and hurt of life and racism and all that stuff, how can God cut through that to get to you if you don't like this or don't like them? Well, what if God wants to use you to do something in somebody else's life? And so that's where I was at. And I just had to say, God, the miracle of you healing my heart is just that, a miracle, because I was going down a bad place. And anyone else that's hearing me right now as well, it may not change the situation, because for me, it didn't change the situation. My dad's still gone. Mm-hmm. And for you, it might not change. It's not like the world's going to be perfect and we all going to hug and come together, right? It ain't like that, but it will heal your own heart, and you'll have peace and joy and be able to minister to somebody else that maybe might not even look like you or act like you, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And in sharing your own experience, you just ministered to others who dealt with something similar to that. You have.
Yeah.
What a beautiful Savior. That's what Divine put on here. Yeah, beautiful Savior. Yeah. He's able to carry you through, and beautiful testimony to go along with that. You're right. God knows, and I do believe He allowed you to feel that. I do. Yeah. I do. You actually went through. It sounded like you went through all the stages of grief, the anger. Not
Yeah,
really.
and I even started getting like snapping at my wife, snapping at my kids,
Mm-hmm.
because like where I was at like a level 5 of stress or frustration, now I'm at a 9 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a 9. I'm just ready. The next thing, I'm just ready to snap. And my wife's like, "What? I just asked you to move over so I can cook some food or whatever." Like, you know, oh, this kitchen's yours. Oh, I can't be. You know what I mean? Like it just escalates so quick and like that. So yeah, I mean, COVID taught me that we all have room to grow and to really check your own heart and your own, instead of like always pointing the finger, because as Christians we're so good at pointing the finger. I mean, like I remember when I was little, we'd hear a sermon and I'd get this, like, don't try to do it like this. That's what I get from my mom, the whole message, right? She, we sitting in the aisle like that, and I get that little look from her, like everything was for me, like
Right,
like,
right,
what about you? You perfect, whatever. So we're so good at blaming and pointing the finger, but I feel like God's saying, check yourself. Are you spending time in my word? Are you praying? Are you learning more about me and my DNA? And so that when these times come, or somebody kind of flares you up or hits a chord that strikes home with you, whether it be, whatever they say or their actions, I mean, are you going to flare up, or are you going to have the composure to say, okay, Holy Spirit, I'm going to zip my tongue.
yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just, I've learned so much during these times, and I'm sure there'll be a song that comes about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you don't learn something during this time, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, right. Well, that means you don't want to learn.
Yes, exactly, because there are so
Yeah.
many opportunities for you to be able to learn something through this. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling down, guys, trying to make sure we are not all the same. Empathy matters. Okay, I like that. Demetri Pitt said, "You better teach today, Mr. Popin." It teaching, ain't it? It teaching. Karen says he is funny, but he is definitely telling the truth. Check yourself. Check your own heart daily, every moment. Brandy says, I bet he didn't even know he was gonna bring a healing Sunday word during this interview. Yes, yes, I agree that that's what it is. I said, now that'll preach. Karen says here, he is funny, but okay, I read that one. Looks like he have it in there twice, but that's okay. We appreciate that. Let me scroll, making sure I'm getting to everything that I have here on today. We've already talked about the COVID and how it has affected you. I know that you do you write your own lyrics?
I do, yeah. I mean, everything you hear of mine, I've written the music and the lyrics. Sometimes my wife will help me place lyrics and stuff like that, because she helps me kind of. My wife is an artist, like not a music artist, but she paints, and she's really artsy, and so she helps me, like, she writes poems and all that stuff. And so anyway, yeah, she's co-written a lot of songs with me. Almost all the songs that you guys are familiar with, she's co-written the lyrics on those songs.
Okay.
So
all right,
yeah,
all right,
come on now. Yeah, and then Aaron Lewis. So I got to give a shout out to. He's in the industry, he's pretty well known with Kirk and James Fortune and a number of other people. But he co-produces all the stuff with me, and then he's written some of the songs with me as well.
Okay.
But yeah, but most times it's usually me and like my wife.
Wonderful. I love it. Keep that in the family. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, now we're talking. We want to touch on about tomorrow night. You have this gospel celebration going on virtually that you will be part of. I'll ask you, like I asked Mr. Titus, when you first got the call about you being one of the performers. What went through your mind? How did you react?
Yeah, I mean, I was speechless. I to see all the other artists a part of it. They're people that not only do I look up to, but their music has helped me along my own journey, So like Fred Hammond, I mean, is an icon, and people like Jonathan McReynolds is such a fresh sound, and Dietrich, I've always really admired him and his music and his passion and energy. And Tasha, I mean, gosh, Tasha just cuts right through it all and goes right to your heart. I mean, yeah, so to be associated with these other people, but then to know that it's really not just about one artist, it's about coming together, moving forward, new administration, and just, a people, Americans, asking God this, we still need your hand. We still need your touch. Don't take your hand off of our lives as a country and personally as well. And so we're all going to bring our own little type of Jesus music and feel good music and inspire and encourage others. But I think the movement of love and unity and coming together is like beyond needed right now. And that's what my ministry for 24 years, as I mentioned, I've been in full-time ministry. That's what it's all been about. So of course I would have run at this opportunity and I would have been banging on that door saying, please let me be a part of it. And somehow I didn't have to do that this time. I was invited, and you don't even know what that means to me, because for years I've been uninvited. So it's really, really special.
Interesting. I think it's amazing. Now, can I be honest and ask you a question? Is anything
When are you not honest? When are you not honest? Come on now.
Okay, so we see, actually, before both of my guests came on today, I kind of went through and talked about the different artists that are appearing, and many of you have seen the posts. I actually put up a post, and it's kind of been all over social media, the different artists that they have that are going to perform on tomorrow night. Now, we do see that Mr. Popin is the only one.
I'm a bridge builder. Come on, baby. I'm a bridge builder. Hey.
Was that a challenge for you, being the only non-African American?
I mean, that's what I've been for the last 24 years of my music ministry. I mean, if I could show people, like, maybe I should start posting clips. Like when I was a concert pianist, I used to like go to churches where I would be like the only little white boy. I mean, that's what I was, because I was 15, 16, 17 years old. And I developed a relationship with these pastors for many years. They would have me into their church and have me once or twice a year for 10, 15 years straight. And we developed relationships. And a lot of them were small churches with 100 people, 150 people. And then 10 years later, they're, larger churches. And so that's the core of my ministry, really, is relationships. And, a lot of people don't know that, but I'm used to that. And in fact, I kind of like it. I mean, I look at it as a compliment, and to be able to connect with people is really what's important to me. And I'll never forget, for a little time, Ty's mom, Nisi Tribbett, was my manager, and she, she's from Philly, I'm from Jersey. I had done a number of events before Ty was Ty, and we connected and stuff. And she always liked how I played piano and all this. And so when she was my manager, I did she put me on the bill for a midnight musical at a Kojic event. Have you ever been to one of them?
I am Kojic, so yes.
Yeah, okay. So I had not. And they didn't want to tell me anything about it. They didn't give me no hints. They just wanted to throw me out there and see how I would respond and react. So it was kind of like the Apollo in some ways. But, here are these choirs that are just killing it. I mean, like, whatever. And then there's like Anthony Brown went before me. Who else was there? I'm trying to think, that is obviously really known now. But anyway, so like, it's my time, and my 7 minutes went down to 5 minutes right before I went on. And I'm like, 5 minutes? Now how am I going 5 minutes? But I'll never forget Nisi. She goes, look, and at that time I was promoting I Can Make It, because that was my first single. And she goes, you can do your little I Can Make It. You can do your little, funky music and be your little soulful thing that you are. She goes, but don't ever forget your roots. And I'm like, what are my roots? And she goes, that keyboard is your voice. And it's all about connecting with people before God opens the door to their hearts and you can really minister to them. And I go, well, how am I going to connect? I said, I look like I look, I do. She goes, you're going to connect through your keyboard, and you're going to play a little traditional hymn, and you're going to, do the things your mama taught you that rooted in you when you were, young. And she goes, and that'll open up the door to what God wants to do next in your life. And so I went up there, and I just hit one note, and I just stopped, and I just said, okay, God bless it. And how I love you. And I just started playing the piano, and one person would stand up, another person would stand, a little hanky come out. And by the time that song was over, I had it was like 7,000 people. I had them all standing and singing and worshiping. And it wasn't like a talent show anymore, and that showed me that it's really more important to connect with people, as opposed to coming in and just doing my own thing and saying, you're going to like me, and you're going, you know what I'm saying? Like, I learned a lot at that, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah. And I'm quite sure that's what they saw in you to have you on for tomorrow night.
I think, yeah, I think so. And again, my ministry really has been all about being like a bridge. And
yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why I feel sometimes trapped in this body, because I'm like, man, why I gotta look like this? And come on. Can't I be a little more tanner or whatever? Look at this nose. I mean, this nose, these ears.
Well, Mr. Popin, you are one of us. I'm just going to say that, you know, especially with your style, you are definitely one of us. So
kind of you. Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't take that lightly.
Well, good. Let me hop over here. But yeah, I wanted to ask you that question because when I saw the different artists, and I said, wow, you stood out to me. You did. I knew a lot of the other ones. You stood out to me, and I said, "There's got to be a reason." And when I was starting to listen to your music, I said, "That's it. That's it."
Well, you know, a little joke is like that's actually never helped me in this, you know, genre before. It's always hurt me because even when I would do events, when my songs would be known, but I wouldn't be known, like people didn't know what I looked like or anything like that. I would go do like festivals and stuff like that. And like I'd have artists that were known artists or not known artists, but they were on the bill with me, and they would come up and be like, "Hey man, I need a 1/4 inch and I'm gonna plug it into here, blah, blah, blah. Can we check my levels?" And I'm like, I ain't the sound guy. Like, but just because I look like I look like I don't fit in. And so, but God knows that, right? And so for this moment and this next season, maybe that we're going through, God's going to use that for a way to maybe help connect some people and cultures and all that, because he knows that's my heart. And yeah, so
okay, all right. I got a note here. Somebody wants me to see if you can try and do something, some kind of recording for a church service, but we'll talk about that later.
If anybody's interested, whether it be virtual or in person, we are taking them down right now. But yeah, all my dates got like totally wiped back in March. So I've done virtual events and stuff like that. And I've also done some like consulting with worship teams and all that, because I'm a team player, and I like to come in sometimes a few days early, work with the band, help encourage, you know, some of the singers and whatnot, help build diversity in the teams, help them know when to play, when not to play, transitions, seamless transitions. Like I love all that stuff. Yeah. And then we you know, we'll do the live services. So sometimes I do that rather than coming in with like a full team. I work with their team and maybe my drummer and stuff. But yeah, if you want to just email Claire, who's part of my team, it's Claire, CLAIRE, at BryanPopin.com. And Bryan is BRYAN, Popin is POPIN.com. So Claire at BryanPopin.com.
Okay. All right. I'm going to make sure I get that information to to them so that they can get in with you. All right. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I'm scrolling up, guys. I'm going to read some more of your comments before we get ready to get out of here.
I'll let you read. As you reading that, I'm going to just mention the event again, which is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific time. The 2021igc.org is the website. The 2021igc.org. You can get your virtual tickets, only $19. And the cool thing about that is you ain't got to leave your house. You don't have to get in your car, put gas money in it. And then you're going to spend $20 on food anyway. And you know, you don't have to fly anywhere, but you can like have a front row seat to this event and hear little mini concerts from all these incredible diverse artists, including myself. And I think, you know, it's really going to bless some people, encourage some people, but the movement is kind of what I'm all about as well. And it also helps support the National Baptist Convention, who put the money and involved in starting this and help creating this. And, you know, we really need to all also help each other during this time so that we keep coming together and doing these events. It helps artists who've been hurting during these times as well. People like me, you know, I mean, we haven't been able to travel and all that stuff. So all in all, it's just a good thing. And so please, you know, support, get your tickets, and I will see you tomorrow night.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. And thanks for doing that. And thanks for giving that shout out to the National Baptist Convention, because that is actually, you know, the brains behind this project on tomorrow. So I'm grateful that they, you know, saw fit to put something together like this. I say, you know, after all we've been through, even on these past 4 years and past year, we need some good gospel music to help us along. And I think tomorrow night is an appropriate time to be able to listen to everyone. So this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Audrey's on and she says she loves your spirit. You're so humble. Appreciates you. They appreciate you talking about your wife. And let's see. I'm scrolling. Oh, Carolyn said, go get some sun.
Yeah. That's what my wife says. You look a little white. I'm like, but I am white. She goes, yeah, well, you shouldn't be that white.
Right. Exactly.
I didn't know there was too white and a little white. And all, I'm learning all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. there are different levels.
Yeah, different levels, right.
Should I say? Thanks, Brandy, for putting that email in. You guys, if you're interested in contacting Mr. Popin, maybe to do something virtually, he can make sure you send that email and see if you can get that request. That'll be so great. Demetria Pitt says she's enjoyed this interview. She's got to run, but blessings to all. But she enjoyed you. So thank you for joining us on today, Demetria. And thank all of you. We're wrapping up. I did want to say or ask you, Mr. Popin, before we go, about your music tomorrow night. Are you going to do it live? And do you know which ones you're going to do? Or do you want to tell us now, or maybe make them wait until tomorrow?
Yeah, no. I mean, this is what I'm thinking in my head, because they have like a couple satellite locations where people will be performing live. Some's pre-recorded and some's live. And so I know I want to play a traditional instrumental, like piano version of God Bless America. That's because I know my mom and dad would really respect and appreciate that, but also because I feel like we need God's hand on our country, and I need his hand on my life. You need his hand, so I think and I want it to be just really like, just simple. And so I wanted to do that. And I actually got the rights to do it too, for the licensing. So I'm thankful for that, because it's not public domain. Like, you got to go to Irving Berlin's estate and ask and all that. So they said yes. So I'm going to do God Bless America. And then I also know I want to do I Can Make It, because that was one of my first singles. And it's just, it's a little funk, little good Jesus music, get a little beat in there. And it's, we can make it together. And so I thought that was a great theme. I wanted to do I Got Out, because I thought that would have been perfect, right?
Yeah.
But with COVID and all the restrictions and regulations, I can't have no choir. So it would have been weird. It would have been like karaoke, like me singing I Got Out all by myself, and you wouldn't hear like this train of voices with me. So the energy would be different. It'd be like, I've been through the fire, but I got out. It'd been like Saturday Night Live or something. So I felt like, yeah, that might not be the best one.
Yeah, you would have needed your backup.
It would have been a good theme, but musically, the sound of it, yeah, I would have needed a little choir help.
Yeah. And I like that one, because it gives that churchy feeling, and I was listening to it, with us being, restricted and going into churches, that really brought me back into church. When I was listening to that song, I was like, yeah, I want to get back in church, dun, 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 I got out,
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Well, we released that song to radio when radio wasn't really playing a lot of old school stuff. Okay. And that song went, I think, to top 5 at radio, which was like, everybody was shocked at that, because that sound wasn't, what was hip at radio. And I guess what they liked was I didn't really fit the look or profile of traditional music. So that sound with me, I mean, whatever, who knows? But God used it, and it was really cool. And it's blessed a lot of people. And I think it's a theme song at like every prison too. So.
Oh, really? Look at me,
okay, funny story. I gotta go because I got another interview, but I want to tell you this story real quick because it's so funny. Yeah. So like, I've done some prison ministry stuff, right? And this one guy that I was doing this work with at this one prison, he goes, look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. He goes, God's gonna use you in a good way here, and you're gonna really minister to some people, but you cannot play I Got Out. And I go, why? Why can't I play that song? And he goes, we are not having no Johnny Cash, thing here at this place. Okay. We don't want them to all rally together. And we trying to come in, bring the love of Jesus, minister to some people, and then leave. Okay. And I was like, okay, all right. I promise you, I give you my man's word. I will not play I Got Out. So it was always a joke to him. I would text him. I'd be like, you sure God ain't speaking to you and saying I can play that song? And he's like, no release up in here on that one. So what's funny is the second we go through all this screening, security, all this stuff, right? We walk into the actual room where we're going to do it. They have this PA set up, and all of a sudden on the PA, we hear, "I've been through the fire, but I got out." And I'm like, I didn't do it. Like, what? And then the sound guy's up in there while we're setting up, and he's like, my man.
That is
So I
too
guess
fun.
they recognized me when I was setting up, and they're like, "Hey, I think that's the I Got Out guy." So anyway,
Right.
that was fun.
Oh, that is funny. That's a good story for you to have in your to tell.
Yeah.
Mr. Popin, thank you so much for coming in on today. And I have to say this, that song, All Back,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, you guys have
You
got
know,
to.
you didn't have to say anything. Your look alone, when you did that look right there, I knew what you meant. You didn't have to say anything.
That song was on and popping, okay? If I can say that. It was on.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this, he got some soul. I like this. I like it.
On that one, thank you for the compliment. On that one, I got to give a shout out though to Aaron Lewis, who helped me co-produce it, and then also to Tennessee State University's New Direction Gospel Choir. I don't know, a lot of people don't know, but they are like the choir, and they have they were the main featured choir on Sunday Best last season. And so they sang with like all the artists and stuff like that, did the finale. But yeah, man, I mean, they brought an energy, you know, they're young people and they brought a passion for God that was undeniable. And it was a cool vibe. And I was really glad we were able to also capture it while we recorded it on film.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen that video, go to YouTube and check out All Back by Bryan Popin.
Yeah.
And you'll see what we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, and the best moment of that song is like when we all pause and be like, "And you can't have it."
Yeah.
No, you can't have it. Oh, that was a lot of fun. I miss those days.
Oh, I'm sure. We'll get
Yeah.
back to those days when you'll be able to do
I'm
stuff
with
like
it.
that, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
But
pumped
thank
me
you.
up, and I wanted to go back and get everything that was taken
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah, I'm with it.
That
Especially
song
now, right?
accomplished what you wanted it to. So thank you so much for that. But again, I know you have another interview to get to, and I don't want to hold you. I understand how you are, you know, trying to get around and, you know, before tomorrow and everything. So we bid you Godspeed. Again, we thank you so much for joining us on today and for sharing with us about yourself, your journey, about your plans for tomorrow. And I just pray that everything goes well for you. I know it will, but I'm just praying everything goes well for you, not only tomorrow, but in your future. So thank you so much again, Mr. Popin.
You too. It's kind of you. Thanks for the good talks and the humor and the laughs. I'm going to hold on to that. That's going to make my day. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So thank you again. All right.
All right.
All
Peace.
right.
God bless.
God bless. All right, guys, thank you all so much for joining me on today, for listening, for actually staying with me, because at the beginning we had to wait a little bit. You can see that these artists, they're actually doing a lot of interviews, a lot of promotion they have going on for tomorrow. And so Get Caught in the Net, we're just blessed to be able to have, you know, two of them to come on to talk to us on today here and come on and get caught in the net. So I thank you all for joining me. If I did not acknowledge your name or say who you were on today, please forgive me, charge it to my head, not my heart. I probably just didn't see your name, but I do appreciate all of you that did jump in, those that came in and shared. I'm scrolling back up as I'm talking. Those that came in, those that shared, those that came in and left. I thank you. But yeah, this was a different day for Mind, Body, and Soul. We're normally on Wednesdays from 12 to 2, but we did a switcheroo of days so that we can accommodate our guests. Make sure, again, if you want to go and listen to that concert on tomorrow night, get your tickets. Go to the website, www.the2021igc.org. Okay, I'll say it again, www.the2021igc.org. And you should be able to get your tickets for tomorrow evening, and you will not be disappointed. Again, there are a lot of artists that are going to be performing, and you should get in on it, because like I said, we need some good gospel music right about now. Okay, all right, we're going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to play my ending. And I want you guys to make sure you stay tuned. Look on Facebook and social media for my post that will be going up for the next, the upcoming shows here on Get Caught in the Net. All right, guys. Thank you again for taking your time out with me on today. It is a blessing, definitely a blessing.
Get caught in a net with ANet. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with ANet. It's your intellectual radio show, here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with ANet.
All right, guys, you know what I always tell you at the end of every broadcast, make sure you wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay safe. Please, please stay safe. It's a lot going on around. People are discontent, and they are unfortunately doing things that to try and please themselves. They are harming other individuals. So you guys, please make sure you are safe out there. And we will see you next week. All right, to Get Caught in a Net. Take care, guys.